Hey DIY Dad here, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be installing an appliance lift in our kitchen, which is a project that I've been avoiding for a couple reasons that you're going to see here in just a minute. But it's going to involve modifying our cabinet a bit and then installing something that has one page of instructions, which are very aspirational. So I'm going to walk you through the process step by step. We're going to get this done one way or another, and there might be some aggressive learning along the way. We'll see. Here we go. This is where our appliance lift is going to go, in this cabinet. Now the lift that we have is intended for a cabinet without a drawer, which means we're going to have to remove that drawer and cut the middle bracing out. I'll show you how we're going to do all of that. But then the lift itself will install within there, which allows us to put the mixer, some of the other things that are stored inside here on a lift so that you can just pull it out and have it come up to counter height and then put it back in without having to haul that out every single time. So it should make it worth it once we get it done. It's just gonna be a little work to get there. And part of the reason it's going to be a little bit of work is the kit itself. So this is what you get in the kit. It's these two kind of bracketed armatures with spring-loaded components to try to take some of the weight, and one sheet of instructions with some very interesting and very aspirational comments. Now, measurements on these instructions are wrong. They have the decimal point in the wrong spot, so it shows that things like, 58 millimeters equals 22.8 inches. It should be 2.28 inches. So there's a little bit of adjustment to do there. But we can get around that. The more interesting part is all the stuff it doesn't tell you. So it gives you some measurements for what you have to do, but there's really no instructions to this. There's also no hardware kit. I don't know if this was a returned item or what, or if it just got mispackaged, but Amazon sent this with just the bars, a pair of gloves for some reason, and then this instruction set and nothing else. Now luckily I do a lot of projects and I'm kind of a pack rat, so I have screws that we can use. These are M6 3/4 inch screws, which is exactly the length I'm going to need to install in my cabinet. So we should be okay there, but it's going to be a bit of a touch and go process, I think, to install this. So first step then, that drawer has to go. So I'm going to pull that out and remove it. That process will change based on the type of hardware you have. In my case, it just slides out, lifts up, and sets aside. Then we'll have to pull the bracketry out. So I'll show you what that looks like with the drawer removed and how we get to that next step. Okay, our drawer is out of the way. Push these brackets back. So our next step then is going to be to remove the bracketry. And then in order for the lift to work, the armature sits right about here. And it pulls out and comes up to counter height, which means this bar that separates out the top of this cabinet from the bottom has to be removed. And if you look close enough, you can see there is a seam here. So this is something that was probably nailed and glued together. I don't feel any obvious screws on the back, but we're going to use an oscillating tool and we'll cut this out of the way. And that'll open this whole box up to be one big cabinet, which then allows us to install. From that point then, the bracketry should install directly into the sidewalls of the cabinet, and we can work our way through it. I'm going to have to manufacture some of the measurements here, but I'll show you how all of that works. My next step then, I'm going to pull the screws for the shelf, or for the drawer rather, get this out of the way, clean out all the stuff that's here in the cabinet, and then we'll check back in. So our cabinet is prepped. I got all of the bracketry removed, took the door off, took out the various hooks and things that we had on the inside of this cabinet. Now we're ready to deal with this guy. Now for this, you could use just a hacksaw and run it down the side, or you can use an oscillating tool like this, which is what I'm going to do. Just go slow. Easiest way is to take a tool like this and rest it flat against this surface and just work your way up through. There's probably a couple little nails going through there, although I don't see any evidence of it. I think this might just purely be glued. We're just going to go nice and slow. The blade that I'm using is a blade that can go through metal and wood, so if we do hit a screw, it's not going to be too much drama. But wear your safety glasses and just work at it nice and slow, then we'll get those panels removed. All right, and here is our cabinet. Nice and opened up and ready to go. And I'll smooth down the edges of these cuts and just sand them a little bit, eventually paint them, but for now, ready to move on to the actual appliance lift. Okay, so now for the install itself. So here's where these instructions, which are a little bit wild, are going to come into play. Essentially, though, what we can glean from this are the basic measurements that they're trying to put in place for clearance. So what this is saying is we have to go 1/4 of an inch in from the edge of the frame, or 5 millimeters, just about the same. So we're going to go 1/4 of an inch in to allow the swing so that we don't impact with the door. And then from the top edge of this bracket, down from the top, it wants us to be at least 2.28 inches. Now that's going to need to adjust a little bit depending on your face frame. So if your face frame is a 2-inch face frame, then this being 2 1/4 essentially is going to basically mean that this bracket needs to be 1/4 inch below the top edge of your face frame. What I mean by face frame is this piece right here. So we're going to measure this and see how tall this is, but our measurement's going from the top of the box. So it's going to be essentially putting the bracket about right there. And that means when my appliance shelf comes out, it's going to be close to level with my countertop. So we'll get this measured, see where that's at, and then see how far down from this we have to come to get to 2 1/4 inches down from the top of the cabinet itself. We're then going to make a little mark, and we're going to go inside, and we're going to draw our line. Now, on mine, because of the way these cabinets are assembled, I have these brackets in place, which means I cannot be fully flush this way. I'm going to have to be further inset than the instructions are suggesting I need to be, which means my shelf will sit a little deeper in here than it's intended to. Now, there's ample room on the swing of the bracket for that to accommodate for it. It just means that when I build the shelf that's going to sit on the bracket, I'll have to be a little more careful on how I measure. We'll get to that step later. So I'm going to see how far down I have to come, and then we'll go into just the inside edge of this little assembly bracket. So my face frame is 1.5 inches, which means to get to 2 1/4, we're going to go 3 1/4 inches down, 3/4 of an inch down from the top corner of this. So put it right about here. And we get a square, and we'll put that on and round it out. Looks like it's about even, really, with where the screw is. But we'll measure it, we'll get a square, we'll do a line, and then we'll kind of move that line back onto the box itself so that we can install the bracket. So here's my registration mark, 3/4 of an inch down from the bottom of the face frame, or 2 1/4 from the top that I did. So I took a square and placed it on there, drew the line across the side, and then extended it onto the cabinet itself, and then did the same thing over on the other side. That's going to serve as the top edge of the bracket that we're going to install. And then, as I mentioned, I'm going to come right up against this piece, which is further in than they suggest they want it to be, but will still work for my purposes. So then we come to the next little problem that we have to solve. So I have screws. I don't know how long the screws are supposed to be with the kit, but my screws are 3/4 of an inch long. And measuring my cabinet walls are 1/2 inch thick. So what that means, since about 1/4 inch of this is taken up by the bracket, so by the standoff that this gives it when this drops in, right? About 1/4 inch gets taken and about 1/2 inch sticks out. It is exactly 1/2 inch that sticks out from measuring it, which means if I over tighten or there's any imperfection in the side wall of that cabinet, I'm going to have a little point sticking out and it's going to deform the face, which I don't like. So on this side here, from my cabinet, I'm going to put a row of washers between the bracketry and the wall just to push it off slightly so that I don't dimple this outer wall. On the inside wall of the cabinet, I don't really care. There's a dishwasher on the other side, so if it dimples and deforms that side, I mean, who cares? But this side, since it's an exposed face, I am going to stand that off a little bit. I don't know if you would need to do that if your kit came with installation hardware, but since mine didn't, and those are the screws that I have to work with, I'll have to do that on my side. Okay, to install these, we need them in their down position. This is the up position, so this would be with the shelf extended. We need it down, similar to what it shows right there. To get it there, you have to pull the release on these, which is not really mentioned. So this lever pulls forward, like so. And when it does, it releases a latch in the back, which is holding this in place, which would be holding your appliance up in the air if we were fully installed. So you have to pull this forward and then turn this piece to get them to sit in the other way. And it's hard to do that while also holding a camera, but you're going to pull that lever all the way out, and then you should be able to rotate that down. And when you're done, it'll look like this. That's the installation position. Now with these as well, that lever is going to point towards the inside. So this is the one that would be on the innermost cabinet wall towards my dishwasher. The other one is the one that will be on the one that's facing this outer wall. So that one that's currently in its up position, that's when I'm going to be using the washers. This one I'm going to be installing just the way it is, directly into the cabinet. So for this then, again, depending on your hardware, you might want to drill pilot screws. Otherwise, if you have self-tapping screws or you're going slow enough, most of these cabinets are particle board or solid wood. You should be able to just kind of go into them. Don't over tighten or you will strip them out. So just be a little slow and cautious with it. But I'm going to get these installed. It's a difficult thing to show, but it's running screws in through wood, so it shouldn't be requiring too much instruction. Then we'll get to the next piece of this. Okay, first bracket is installed. Went with the one on this side because I don't have to worry about it punching through. And I always recommend with projects like this, especially when you're using, somewhat suspect things like this bracket from Amazon, is to stop along the way and kind of check your work. So you can see I'm fully rigidly installed. I have all 8 screws up here at the top. Matched my line. This is level. Life is good. When I go to pull this out, it hits. And the reason it's hitting is because the very back of this has this little standoff, and the clearances are so tight, you can actually kind of see this bar kind of bends in a little bit. Now I could probably, with the shelf, pull that in, but I'm having to pull it in pretty hard to get that lined up. So I think what I'm going to do, that might work, but then it might also just pull the whole shelf over. So I think what I'm going to do is, while we're at this step, just pause, and I'm going to get a piece of 1/4 inch plywood, and I'm going to install a strip right here running all the way back, and screw that into the side of the cabinet, and then screw this through that into the cabinet as well. Now that takes care of my screw clearance issue on this side. That will also give us the spacing that we need for this to move cleanly past without hitting, because I don't know, I just don't want to get all the way installed and have everything done and then have this not work. So my standoffs maybe are a little bit more proud than others. Maybe these come out just a little bit further than a traditional cabinet. I don't know. Could also be that this particular bracket was built for a cabinet that doesn't have a face frame. That's just a board that comes out like this. So you wouldn't have this clearancing issue. But for me, I'm going to have to stand this in order to allow this to get past. So I think I'll use a piece of 1/4 inch. I might have like a 1/2 inch out there. We'll see what I have in my scrap pile. I'm just going to get a scrap of wood to run there. I'll do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll get the brackets installed and they'll check back in. Okay, here's our revised solution. So I found a piece of 3/4 inch shelving that I had out in the garage. So just putting a piece of that as an inner part on this cabinet, and then I reran my line down both sides for the top edge of the bracket. So I'm going to reinstall the bracket, and I'm going to use 1¼ inch screws, which will go through this backer board into the outer wall of the cabinet and should hold everything nice and tight. Trick with this is going to be getting the alignment correct so that I have the same setback on both sides. Essentially what I'm going to do is do this one first and then measure the distance from the front edge of my faceplate here to the front edge of the bracket, since it's going to overhang this piece of wood a little bit. And then I'll just use that to be the same measurement on the other side, because I want to make sure the brackets are even this way. Here's a revised bracket with the standoff, and you can see it now moves very smoothly. There's no clearancing issues on the side at all. This should be much nicer. And I'll get this measurement transposed over to the other side, and we'll get the other bracket installed. Okay, both brackets are installed with our setbacks, so they are level and balanced. Now the next step is going to be to get the shelf figured out And if you're paying attention, you may have realized the other problem I've created for myself by removing that drawer, which we're going to have to deal with, because otherwise my cabinet door is not going to fill that entire space. So we're going to have a big, weird, ugly opening at the top. So we're going to deal with that too. For the drawer then, or for the shelf rather, what you're going to do is measure the width of your opening, because you can overhang the sides of this bracket. No, you can't. Never mind. So you're going to measure from the edge of the bracket to the edge of the bracket, because these bars have to go up like that. And then you're going to measure from the edge of your countertop to the edge of this. That's going to be your maximum size for this shelf. So for me, that puts me at just under 12 inches wide by, I'm going to go to there, about 17 inches long. That's going to give me that space to do this. So I'm looking for about 12 by 17. I can go 12 by 18, I think. That's about the max that I can do for my length here. Which means I have to take a quick run to the hardware store. I'm also going to get a handle that can be placed here to assist with lifting the shelf and with setting it back in. Alright, so our initial kind of test of this, it does work. There are a few things that I'm going to tweak and adjust, and my next step is going to be really specific to my solution, because I'm going to take the drawer that was there and install it down there. So my drawer has these slides on the side because of the offset. What I'm essentially going to do is put these little spacer bars in the bottom corner, and then I'm going to run the drawer brackets back, and it should be able to just roll straight in there. Now if I wasn't doing this, my other plan had been to take the face of this drawer off and then take the cabinet door, which is over there, and essentially attach them together into one big door. So if this doesn't work, I'll switch back to that plan. But I think this is going to allow us to take this, well, what's being used as a junk drawer right now because it's been moving around the house, but take this and have it installed as a drawer under our shelf. And that way we can put all the attachments and everything else for the mixer in there, keep everything nice and tidy. So I'm not going to do a lot of coverage of that process because it's very specific to the hardware I have and the specific type of cabinet I have. I'll just show you what that looks like when it's all done, and then we'll get the door mounted and we'll be wrapped up. And here we have it, finished product. So I've got my drawer installed down below. So that pulls out. That'll be where all of our attachments and stuff go. And then door up above, and then this swings out from there. So I think if I had it all to do over again, I would get the one that had the hydraulics on it and was a little bit more assistive on lifting. This is pretty heavy to lift, but it does work. We've used it a couple times. It shakes a little if you're doing something like trying to knead bread dough with it, where the mixer is going to be moving around a lot. But for general mixing, making cookies, things like that, it's pretty stable, pretty clean, easy to use. I'll do a few things, clean up on that shelf here over the next couple of weeks. I'll probably stain it. I may actually even replace it with a big chunk of butcher block instead. This is just what I had available right now, but I'll get it so it's easier to clean and easier to maintain. But all in all, that is a wrap on that project. So that's going to bring us to the end of another DIY dad video and project. So I, of course, owe you a dad joke. So, have you ever wondered why herbs are so expensive? Well, because as they say, time is money. All right, remember, with any DIY project, it doesn't have to be perfect. Most important step is just to do it. No one's going to see the flaws unless you point them out to them. Have a great day, stay safe, like and subscribe, and all the YouTubey things, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.